distinguished guests led by Honorable Justice Morgan on behalf of the acting Chief Justice and the acting President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, the Permanent Secretary for State Department of Youth Affairs, Mr. Sunkuli, the Director of Judiciary Training Institute, the Director General of Kenya School of Government, who is not here just yet and who will be coming a little later, and represented here just now by the Director of Academic Affairs at Kenya School of Government, Dr. Josephine Mwazia, all the other guests who are here, mentors, ladies and gentlemen. We are so honored to be in this gathering this morning. Let me just share with you briefly what Hesabika is about and what this program is about, and what motivates us in Hesabika in starting this program. And I'll start by quoting the Irish statesman and philosopher Edmund Burke. And this is what he says, and I'm sure this is very well known to us, that the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men, and I dare add women, do nothing. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is when good men and women do nothing. And that is something that we want to contribute in getting good men and women do something for what they believe the direction of this country should be like. And we are firstly inspired by distinguished leaders like yourselves. But I think one of the things we notice is that there are not too many of you, and I'm not referring to your senior positions in the various areas of government that you are involved in, but men and women who have distinguished themselves by the quality and ethical moral standards they stand for, even in those high positions. So we want to contribute, even in a very small way, in adding to your number, people who will stand up to be counted for the transformation of this country. And that's what Hesabika is really about. And that's why we chose this name, Hesabika, because one of the observations that we had made is that we don't have a shortage of people in government positions, senior positions. But we do have a shortage of people who really are standing up to be counted and making a difference where they are. And we notice, and especially in the faith community, that there are many people who point fingers at what is going wrong in the country, who are maybe expert commentators and people who analyze what is going on in the country without necessarily lifting a finger and doing what it takes for each of them as individuals to become an agent of change in the transformation of this nation. So Hesabika is a call to everyone to say that you can make a change where you are. And if we all did something where we are, indeed we can talk about the transformation of this nation. One of Hesabika's priority is mentoring, resourcing, releasing the next generation of leaders for every sector of society. And we felt that one sector that is underrepresented when it comes to men and women of integrity is particularly when it comes to public service. And it's not that public service is particularly dirty, it's just that it is public service and the politics and governance of a nation are so critical that when people exclude themselves and become only experts in pointing out what is wrong, then we cannot advance as a nation. And so we are trusting that this program, the governance internship program, will begin to contribute, perhaps in a small way, but in a way nonetheless, where increasingly we are building a pipeline of values-driven leaders for this nation. We couldn't have started this program and come this far without the support of many of you around here. And allow me, Honorable Lady Justice, to just point out a number. Let me start this by noting particularly the role of the Judiciary Training Institute in induction of these interns. When we went to see the director, Honorable Justice Kathurima, about the induction of these interns, one of the things that was quite clear is that in the mandate of the Judiciary Training Institute, there is nowhere where they are allowed to train the public. They only train judges and magistrates. And he actually told me they don't train even lawyers, let alone anyone who shows up at the Judiciary Training Institute. But I can only attribute it to God because I don't know why he felt that there is something about this program that I think is quite interesting. I would have to get permission from the JSC, from the Judicial Service Commission, or at the very least, the acting Chief Justice. And so he said, let me try and do that. And of course, we were very much in prayer about what response that he was going to get. Only, I think it was 2 or so weeks later, when the director announced that actually he's received permission from the Honorable Lady Justice, the acting Chief Justice. And a day later, he said, actually the Honorable Lady Justice Philomena Mwilu, the acting Chief Justice, will come to open the induction at the Judiciary Training Institute. I mean, we didn't have words for that. We did not even request for that. And so we are so very grateful for the support that the Judiciary Training Institute, and what's more, the meticulousness with which this induction program at JTI has been put together. And thanks so much to your deputy, Dr. Frida Getheru, who is a master of ceremony here. We have seen what is epitome of excellence just by working with the Judiciary Training Institute. And so we want to say thank you so very much for the support and the inspiration that you have given. And you have brought in excellent facilitators. And one of them, Honorable Justice Richard Mwongo, is here. And so we are so very grateful for the people that you have brought together for this training program. And Honorable Justice Richard Mwongo, who is a presiding judge in Naivasha, you came all this way for this occasion, and we want to say thank you very much, thank you. Let me also, if I may, thank you, PS, Mr. Charles Sunkuli, the PS for the State Department of Youth. And let me just say very briefly, and I know I may be taking more time than Dr. Getheru will be comfortable with, that when Mr. Sunkuli came into the department of the State Department of Youth, and that was, I think, only a few weeks ago, when PS Julius Correo exchanged with him in devolution, and he came. We must admit, Mr. PS, we had some fears because Mr. PS, PS Julius Correo, had shepherded this process for quite a while. And we were just about to now go to the next step of even attachments, and a new PS comes. And we are wondering, how will the new PS, will he even know how much had been done? Will he own the process going forward? But we came to you, Mr. PS, sir, and we were so inspired for you to say what you thought about this program, and that you wanted it not only to continue, but you have supported it. And you are being here today is a testament of the huge support you and your department, supported by Secretary for Youth Affairs, Raymond Ouma, who is here. And we just want to thank you so very much for your support. Let's appreciate the peers. In absentia, and I think we'll be joined shortly by Professor Ludeki Chwea, who is the Director General of Kenya School of Government. I would like to acknowledge his support in this. Again, when we went to Kenya School of Government and we are having a conversation about bringing interns through induction at KSG and later actually going back for training, we went there, and the Director of Academic Affairs, Dr. Josephine Mwanzia, who is here, took us to the Director General, and we were having this conversation. And the Director General said, you are really implementing what we in KSG are about. And we not only want to support this program, but could we have a memorandum of understanding with you and the State Department of Youth so that we are working not just on this cohort, but on future cohorts, and maybe do some other partnerships together. Now, that is from the Director General. We were just awed, surprised, and so very grateful. And that MOU that the Director General requested that we put together will be signed later this morning, Honorable Lady Justice Mugo. We just want to appreciate the role of KSG in this process. And so I want us to please thank. And I could go on and on. Let me just mention two more, and that's it, believe you me. The Clerk of the National Assembly, he's not here, he's not represented. He's actually been indisposed. Michael Sialai, and Honorable Patrick Mareru, who are making arrangements for the induction of interns at the Center of Parliamentary Studies and Training, CPST, and also attachment to Parliament. So they are not able to be here, but we are very grateful for the support and the partnership with the legislature. So let's now. And my words will not be complete without appreciating the role of the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service and Gender, Professor Margaret Kobia. She actually wanted so very much to be here. She couldn't come this morning. She has sent a representative, Mr. Dennis Mutahi, who is here. And so let's appreciate Dennis. Where are you, Dennis? He is there. So thank you very much. And I'll just mention that if there is a mother to this program, the Governance Internship Program, it would have to be Professor Margaret Kobia. We started this conversation in 2019. Yeah, it feels like that far back. And His Excellency, the President, had just launched the Huduma Halisi initiative. And at that point, we were having a conversation as to whether Hesabika can contribute into implementing through an internship program, the Huduma Halisi program. And at that point, the PS for the youth, the State Department of Youth was actually in public service. And Mr. Ouma was the Secretary for Home Affairs, then in the Ministry of Public Service. And they went with the baby and nurtured this baby in the Ministry of ICT. But we are really appreciative for the support that the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service has provided. And one request we have of the CS is that just like she brought up this baby, we would like to make a request to her, and she is considering this, that the Public Service Commission is enjoined into this memorandum in terms of the implementation of this governance program. And so, Mr. Mutahi, we know that you'll be taking that to the CS of Public Service. So let's appreciate the Cabinet Secretary again. I think I better close my remarks and then just again thank the Director of JTI for making this opening ceremony possible, but also giving us an opportunity to talk about this program and the MOU. Thank you very much.